Hey there everyone, this is Maury, and I'll give you guys today's challenge. So, for today's challenge, I picked the topic of a bittersweet song using the 4 to 4 minor chord progression. So, this is more for songwriting more than anything, but we can still use this chord progression in our compositional works. For my experience, just this transitions from a major to a minor chord. Sounds really good. Sounds really sad, but kind of bittersweet. So I kind of want to, I guess, just work with this chord progression today. So adjective, very simple. Write something bittersweet using the progression 4 major to 4 minor in 16 bars, kind of like what we did yesterday. As a side note, this 4 to 4 minor is commonly used to promote a sense of sadness to an otherwise happy song. I wouldn't say sadness per se. It could be somber. It could be a lot of things. Just if you guys listen to it, just try to experiment with it. Our parameters, KFC, very simple. So we'll go from an F to an F minor, since that's the 4 chord. Time signature 4/4. Scales or modes, just try to use major scales if you can. This works really well with a major scale and their chords, just because the 4 is diatonic to that scale. So going from a 4 to a 4 minor, which is not diatonic, is pretty cool. Format will be the same as yesterday. So I'll quickly walk through you what I would do for today. Just made the same template as yesterday: 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars. I'll try to do that. Answer that call and response, something different, and then a conclusion down here. But it'll be a little bit different because I won't follow the strict definition of a period. I'll still start off with a major chord, a 1, and I'll still end on a 1. But here's where it's going to be a little bit different. I actually want to go to a 5. Whoops, that did not work. A 5. Let's do a 4. This little run up, and we'll end on a descending cadence, which is the 6. And just for sake of time, I'll copy and paste this. Actually thinking about it, let me switch these two around because of something I'm going to do right now. The reason why I switched these two around is because this is where I'm going to introduce my little 4 to 4 minor, 4 major to 4 minor progression right down here. It's to give contrast and a different feel from these two. Something different, since we're just practicing this cadence. Let's go to a minor. Let's go to 6, 1, 5, back down to a 6. This is basically in minor, and here's where we can get kind of fun. Let's actually start in dominant, which is the 5. Start a 5. Actually, thinking about it, a 2, a 5. And you would assume that I would try to end back at the 1, but go to a 4, 4 minor, 1. Sounds like a really good group. Sounds like a solid chord progression. Let me just quickly add some bass notes. For this song, I think I'm gonna go more on the quieter side. I wouldn't say quieter, more on the slower tempo. I put it 90, just so I can have that effect. I'm just writing out the root note of every chord, just so I have that done. Okay, that's good. Now we can do a lot of things. We can either start with the melody, or we can start with the accompaniment, doing some of these chords. So I think I'm going to do the accompaniment approach. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to arpeggiate a lot of these. So what I need to do is quickly set these to the lower voicing. This can easily be played on the piano, but it doesn't have to be. Something you guys can choose. I'm gonna just copy this pattern that I'm doing. And when you're doing these little patterns, at least what I found, the less dramatic moves you can do, the better. Just because it helps it go pretty smooth. See how I did here? I did the first, the fifth, and back first, the fifth, back to the first five. Here I did the first, the third, and here I did the first and the third again. And here I did the first and the third, just because it sounds pretty nice and smooth. Let's hear it really quick. Okay, sounds pretty good. Let's copy and paste these ones just because we have them. And here's the cool thing now for the accompaniments in this part. We're actually going to take the exact same as here, but since this is a minor, you're going to lower that. And actually thinking about it, I think it'd probably be beneficial if we do it something very similar around here too. Just for consistency's sake. And that being said, thinking about it a little bit more clearly, let's do something like that as well over here. Just so we can have it all the same. Okay. So let's see if we can listen to that little cadence I have at the end over there. See, we can already get a sense of sadness from there. At least something a little bit bittersweet. Let's see. Let's quickly do these ones down here too, just so we can get them over with. Just because we've used these chords anyway. So we can just copy and paste a lot of these. Let's see, there's 5. Let's do this one really quick. Let's do... D1. Okay. And then here we're gonna do it in half time, just because to get that little. Actually, now let's actually hold these off, so it sounds good. So since all these have the similar notes, except for the A to the A minor, A flat, let's keep F and let's keep C right here, and then keep C. Over here as well, and then we'll do a E. I mean a G and an E. Okay, so I have an end point. That's good. Really go to accompaniment. Now let's quickly do a melody. Let's hear this. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Pachelbel's Canon in D. I want to start on an E, a G. Let's actually go up to an E. So da 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 da. So as you're writing these little things, these little melodies, some melodies may pop in your mind, and just try to flow with it. Because sometimes, since we've been listening to a lot of music since since we were young, we kind of have a sense where we want the notes to go. So just try to follow it. So that's pretty good. I actually want this to be a quarter note. So yeah, that sounds like. Okay, now the C, it's pretty consonant because it's going up against a D down here. So maybe we defer that right over here. Feel good, but let's approach it. Let's see how that sounds like. Almost. What if I changed the rhythm a little bit and do an enclosing approach? That's when you go up and down the target note. Kind of better, but it's not getting what I want. Da 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 da. Okay, I like that one a little better. And let's repeat a similar phrase over here. Let's go a little lower. Let's go to an F. And then we go to a D or a C. Let's go to a C, a perfect fifth up. And my ears wants it to go up. Not that. Okay, I think that's pretty solid. Kind of what I want. Copy, paste this down here. Now here's where the cool magic happens. We'll keep exactly the same melody, but since we have this little chord change right here, it sounds really different. And since it's kind of delayed, we kind of want to harmonize it with a harmony back here. Let me quickly do some harmonization. I'm just going to harmonize these in thirds really quick. I'm going to harmonize everything that's not a sorry, it's not an eighth note, just because it sounds better. And I think copy and paste this. Because we can really tell it once we harmonize that. So there we go. Pretty good. Okay, let's go to here. Since we're going pretty slow in this session, let's try to go a little fast here. Da 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 da. Let's jump an octave up. Pretty good dramatic leave. But still keeping the same melodic presence. Let's see. So it goes da 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 da. Da, da, that's what I'm thinking. So da, da, but let's see if it matches with this. It doesn't really, just because it again hits this little D, makes a little bit of a tension. Da, da. Let's do that. Now here we go, and I want to go up, and it'll lead you into an E, which is diatonic to this. Little kind of want it a little bit lower actually. Okay, sounds pretty good. Now here we kind of want to repeat the same phrase, but here's a little cheat of his copy. And I'll raise it up and then I'll put it in scale. That's an easy fix. And then copy and paste that as well. See how it sounds like. Now here we go. I want to emphasize this little cadence that we have going on. So A flat. Sounds pretty good, but we can work on it. Let's do a C version of it, or let's invert the chords. Good. Let's turn these into second voicings, and I kind of want to walk down the scale to that tone. Da 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 dum. Okay, very simple. I think for this purpose I'm done. Let's give a quick listen to. Okay, sounds pretty good. Sorry, it does sound pretty bittersweet, but I would change some other things. I'll probably change some of the harmonizations in the melody line, just because I think I can do better. This little accompaniment sounds pretty good, but I feel like I can probably make it a little bit smoother and a little bit more interested. Maybe add a couple of sevenths or ninths to it, just to make it more, I guess, rich in tone. And right here, the melody is fine, but I feel like I can work on it. I can embellish on it here and there. But for sure, this chord progression from a 5 to a 4 to a minor 4 sounds pretty good. I'm gonna quickly grab my guitar just so you guys can have that sound kind of imprinted on it. So, you know, a 1 to a 5, 4, minor 4. Just this sense of just sadness that you get from it. I think it sounds pretty nice, and I think if you guys work on it in your music, you can probably use it for a lot of situations. Well, that's everything. I hope I can see what you guys come up with. Since that's everything, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.